father.
Merry Cringemas, sports fan, and happy Brolidays to all who celebrate. The holidays are a celebration of love, and so is marriage. So that's the intro.
You to put your hands in front of you. Oh, no. We'll have to take it out of the station.
We used to think that the year 2000 would be a futuristic utopia. But for WCW, the year 2000 was like that part in a wedding where they ask if anybody has any objections or forever hold your peace, but everybody stood up.
I hate you!
On September 11th, 2000, which I mention only because I will never forget Ric Flair's tragically gelled hair,
is that a hair gel?
Ric's son, David Flair, was in a relationship with Stacy Keibler, then known as Miss Hancock. And she was known as Miss Hancock on account of dicks, right, guys? Their relationship led to a pregnancy and was about to culminate in a marriage. During the proceedings, Ric Flair gets arrested. Then the show goes to commercial, and then we get right back to the wedding.
Why this couple should not be united in marriage. They must speak now.
Stacy Keibler then raises her hand like it's geometry class and can't twist the microphone out of the stand, but that's not the twist. Oh, she's pregnant, all right.
You're not the father.
Stacy Keibler leaves and David Flair's mind breaks.
Wanna know how I got these?
Hair gel?
Mike Tenay pays a home visit to David Flair the next week, mostly to check up on the progress of David's acting class.
What do you want, Tenay?
How do I act so well?
Mike Tenay is there to ask the one burning question: what's it feel like to have your entire life ruined on live television?
David, what are you doing? I know you don't smoke.
He's dirty, he's paranoid, he's losing his mind trying to figure out who the real father of the baby might be. The mailman arrives, David Flair runs outside, excited to practice his new moves from wrestling school, and puts the mailman in a figure 4 leg lock on the front lawn.
David, the mailman! David!
Breaks the man's leg, and then stands up and just runs off into the distance.
Hair gel?
David spends the next couple of weeks on the hunt for the real father, and apparently his lead suspect is Charles Entertainment Cheese.
Sir, I have no idea
What do you mean you don't know?
I'm gonna have
What
to
do
ask
you
you to
mean?
leave, sir.
Getting nowhere, David Flair then decides to look for the father in the ball pit.
Oh, he's in the... Are you? He's in the ball pit. Where are you?
Jasper T. Jowls could not be reached for comment.
I'm not the monster. No, I'm just the head of the...
Hair gel?
The next week, David Flair has apparently abducted someone Taliban style. He takes them down to the ring, of course, because that's where all serious personal business gets dealt with. For some reason unknown to me, David Flair decides to uncuff this man and turn his back to them. And it turns out to be...
These people and everybody else.
Buff Bagwell. David Flair then issues a challenge.
I want Buff Bagwell in a DNA match.
A DNA match. What is it? The concerning part for me is there are lots of different things that has your DNA in it.
What are all those stains? Blood, urine, or semen?
Oh, God, I hope it's urine.
At the pay-per-view, David Flair has brought his own doctors to apparently test the DNA as soon as he gets it. In order to win the match, you have to make your opponent bleed. And if David Flair can make Buff Bagwell bleed, then he gets to collect his blood and have doctors test it to see if Buff Bagwell is the father of Stacy Keibler's baby. But David loses. But lucky for us, for no reason whatsoever, Lex Luger comes out and hits Buff Bagwell and gives him just enough time to insert a blood capsule, pop it with his teeth, and spit some of it out of his mouth. So David Flair can stumble over, collect it into a little jar, and hobble it back to the doctors. David Flair comes out with the results of the DNA test. Turns out he's 100% a bitch. After testing, the lab confirms with 99% accuracy that Marcus Alexander Buff Bagwell
Is not the father of the baby. Whoa!
So who is? Well, don't worry, sports fan, because we have a very, very satisfying conclusion right here. Several weeks later, Stacy Keibler finally reveals that the father is
Mrs. Cartman.
nobody, because she says she was not pregnant and it was all a lie the whole time.
Nothing. Life lesson? Some tasks are not worth doing.